Well, great win for our kids. Just outstanding. Always a tough matchup. Really difficult team to play. Very talented, a lot of different positions, but really proud of our kids. We held them a good 15 under their average. A team that's been one of the nation's leading scorers all year. In points per game and three-point field goals taken and three-point field goals made. So to hold them to 7 threes, 23 attempts. Just a credit to our kids, just the defensive effort. And I thought, our inside play with both Lainey and Sarah was outstanding. Caitlin Young's a handful, and wasn't pleased she had 15 at halftime, but I thought they really tightened some things up and did a great job holding her to 8 in the second half. Can't say enough about Lacey. Just continues to be a rock for us, and quite a performance by Cayman in the first half. Really all-round game. I thought she played well the whole game, but it was just a huge impact for us off the bench. So really pleased with how well all of our guards rebounded. You look at Kira, finished with 8 rebounds. Kylie had 8 rebounds, 7 for Cayman. So felt like defense and rebounding, limiting their layups and threes was the key of the game, and I thought our kids did a great job with it.
That's 2 in a row over 2 of the better teams in the league, coming off of the UIC loss. Just what is it that's gotten you guys better and learned from that loss to where you guys are right now?
Yeah, you can say whatever about the UIC loss. I think UIC was going to be good all year anyway. So, just because maybe they haven't finished in the top 4 the last couple of years. It's always a difficult game. I think if you look across the board at our league, the league is really good, and it's really hard to win in our league. And it doesn't matter if you're playing so-called the top teams in the league for that day or somebody who hasn't been as successful. It's just hard to win games in our league, whether it's home or on the road. And, we knew this was going to be a tough stretch. Coming out of Christmas, you're at UIC, which we knew was going to be a really difficult game. Then you turn around and, we're playing at home against 2 of the better teams in the league that have been playing really, really well. So I think just great credit to our kids just coming back from the UIC game, understanding what we needed to do to get better. We played 3 very different styles of play and had to adjust, very quickly. So I think we've got a lot more in our tank. I think our kids know we've got a lot more in our tank. I think we're going to continue to get better and better. I think we have gotten better. We've got a ton of room to grow. But every game in this league is going to be tough to win. It doesn't matter if you're at home, if you're on the road. Just across the board, I think our league is really deep with a lot of individual talent, really good coaches, and then collectively just some really, really good teams, to be honest.
So what you see from Cayman today, that's her best offensive performance, just seeing her put her head down scoring. Hadn't seen that probably since high school.
Yeah, I think she's had some really good games for us, this year. She had a career high 17. I forget what game it was, not too long ago. But I thought she just did a great job coming out and just understanding flow of the game and taking what came to her, got herself going, and then obviously, we got her some looks that she was able to take advantage of with how they were playing her, and I think it just continued to build confidence, for her. But it was a huge spark for us. The impact she's had for us off the bench really all year. Obviously, I think what she finished with. She finished with 20. So I believe that's a new career high. I think 17 was previously, but the kid knows how to score, But I'll tell you what, she's really impacted us. You look at the stat sheet and you see the scoring, you watch her play and you see the scoring. She's always been able to score. Her biggest improvement and where she has really continued to grow and impact us has been how she's been able to defend. She's defending some of the best guards in the league. We're asking her to guard some of the best guards in the league. And then the way she's rebounding, it changes the game for us. And so I think she's really consistently done all those things. But it was great to see her come out and get in a flow and just continue to build confidence and just continue to have that aggressive mentality. And that's what Cayman does.
Coach, the third musketeer that didn't talk was obviously Sarah Lenthico, right?
Yeah.
She helped get another 12 points in this game. When she scores inside, you got Lacey doing what she does. Between Kira and Cayman and whoever else, is that what makes this team so dangerous for you guys, is being able to find anybody else to kind of plug in as that 3rd or 4th option?
Yeah, I think so. And then a lot of times it just depends how teams decide to play us. I think, it's making the reads. And, Sarah's been so consistent for us. She had really one off game this year. She had one off game. It just happened to be against UIC but she got great looks, But she's just been so steady for us inside. She doesn't force things. She lets things develop. She lets things come to her. Trust her with the ball in her hand. She's done a great job facilitating from the high post. Kid just works. She just comes in, works really hard. Has just really been a consistent force for us inside. And, that's a handful to have to guard young and then to come down and be as efficient as she was, on the offensive end of the floor too. So, again, I give her a lot of credit. She's come in and she's just been really coachable, has just worked her tail off. She really takes the scouting report to heart and really tries to understand what we're trying to do. And she's just been a quick learner. And just proud of how she's gone out and just competed every game.
One of the things that I've noticed in your now 2.5 seasons as head coach, right? Your team seemed to be able to adapt, right? You just said 3 games in a very short span, 3 different styles. How do you and this coaching staff get your players to adapt and get ready to catch whatever the opposing team is going to throw at them on both ends of the floor?
Well, I think it's got to be, it's got to be the players wanting to do that. It doesn't matter what we do if they don't have that open mind and coachability and really understand the importance of how important the little things are. I don't think you're going to have that. And so for us to come, back from a UIC game, play a completely different team in a Belmont team, have to prepare for them, which was an exhausting physical game, and basically you have less than 48 hours. You got 36 hours before you turn around and play track meet style against Murray State. That's just credit to our kids. We did very little on the court yesterday. We really couldn't do a whole lot. And the things we really needed to do on the court, we couldn't simulate. You can't simulate from a physical standpoint. You just can't do it. So, we walked through a lot of things that we thought here's some things we need to be aware of, really mostly on the defensive end of the floor. Watched a lot of film with them, and more than anything, just tried to get them some rest. But I think you have to give them credit because there's a lot of coaching staffs in the country that, we all go through and do the same thing. You put scouting reports together and you get a game plan, but it's got to be the kids that really embrace it and take it to heart and want to try to execute it and really be a part of doing things together as a team to come out and try to get wins, really. It's an unselfish group that works really hard and wants to be coached.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, right, so now with 8 days off until your next game, how important is this rest time and what do you guys do in preparation for Southern Illinois?
Yeah, I think it is important. This was a tough week. We had 3 games in a week. And thankfully we were on Christmas break, so they didn't have to balance school. So I think that was one of the nice things about this time of year. We definitely need to give them some rest mentally and physically. NCAA-wise, we have to take 2 days off this week, so we'll give them 2 days off at some point here, and just let them get a little bit refreshed. But I do like the fact that we'll have a little bit of time where we can kind of regroup on the court and work on some things that we need to work on because it's going to be a tough stretch, moving forward as well. We've got 17 games on the slate left, so they don't get any easier as we go. But I do like the fact that after a tough stretch that we'll have a little bit of time before Sunday to get better on the court, but also mentally, physically be able to give them a little bit of a break.
When do you notice that Lacey's going to just go in for the kill? Because there's just a point in some games where you just notice she's about to just take over 13 in the fourth quarter. Just when do you notice it?
I think it's just more a feel you can see. We knew that they were going to sit off of her, and we talked about it ahead of time, watched a little bit of film with her on it. So we just didn't want her to come out hesitant, because sometimes if you don't realize, suddenly it's like she's used to having somebody on her, that they're playing so far off, it gets you a little bit out of rhythm. So I thought she just did a great job early on understanding what she needed to do to get some deep, open looks without kind of being hesitant at the three-point line and just standing there realizing nobody was going to guard her, right? And so she thought she got some really good looks early in the paint off of pull-ups, not her typical drives because they were trying to keep her in front. And then she went out and proved herself, and I think it just really started to open things up a little bit more, that then it opened up her getting to the basket and being able to attack and get downhill and some of those types of things. But she's just, I think as she's played, she's just continued to mature and get a feel for the game. Lacey's probably biggest improvement. She's like an Energizer bunny. It's like she doesn't stop. And so I think one of her biggest improvements has just been understanding flow, understanding pace, when to turn it off, when we need to settle and execute, because she's just so used to going a million miles an hour all the time. So I think that's probably been one of her big areas of improvement. But yeah, when she goes for the kill, it's hard to stop.
Are you going to facilitate any more billboards for those two? See them all over town?
We're all for NIL, so anybody who wants to help us out here, we will certainly welcome it. I mean, those are two great kids to represent you. We got a whole lot more, so let's get them around town.